What's more valuable in his Blambos? Those books.
Brandon's tail's wagging over there. He's excited.
You can see him wagging.
Okay. I know there's some condition where you're like, oh, everybody here is trying to get me.
Dude, no one cares. Just let me go eat lunch.
Here's this disease. Yeah, okay, cool. Know that. Okay, next disease. Here's some drugs.
Cool. Yeah, remember that.
With kicks like yours, who needs a
Hey, hi, hello. There it is. There it is. We actually have very good news today. 2 pieces of good news. But first,
I'm going to say we have 3 pieces of good news.
I have to address the elephant in the room here. You might be sitting there thinking, man, I am so sick of living through Dean and Drew's show history. Why can't we just have a normal episode for once? I did something different with my hair today. Woo! I was bored. I was supposed to go to an event, and then they canceled it, and I had just showered. So I'm like, all right, if I'm going to go back to work, I'm just going to play around with my hair, see what I can do. And I came across this, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of like it, so I'm going to keep it for now. So there you go.
Yeah.
The second piece of good news that we have to address. We have gotten a 4th 5-star review, actually, from the guest of today, who's our 3rd piece of good news. We won't address him yet, but he gave us a 5-star review on the way here. And for that, Brandon was awarded his first calories in 5 weeks.
Yeah,
and to that, we just give a round of applause.
He's excited. And you know what?
Brandon is pumped.
And he stays alive for a little longer.
He stays alive for a little longer, and we're all happy for him. He didn't earn it necessarily. It was donated to him because our guest felt bad. But there you go. There's the second piece of good news. Our 3rd piece of good news, we have a guest in the house.
Woo. You might be wondering, who is this dazzling, handsome Polish man? His name is Dom.
Dr. Dominic Kucharski.
Or D.A. Kuchar.
D.A. Kuchar, I was going to say that.
That's a good one. Dunk.
The Motec.
Yeah.
The Motec.
He goes by many names.
Yeah, I wrote the review in the car. Drewski saw it. I submitted it.
I can put my hand on the Bible and say he did it.
Yeah, when I reopen the app, it doesn't seem it's there. So like, if it's not there, you might need to you might need to start Brandon again.
Brandon, don't eat that 3 Musketeer yet.
Yeah, well, we need to confirm.
You hang on to that. We might take that back.
You have to wait 3 days for it to process.
There's also a tariff on that Musketeer, so you owe me 3/4 of it.
And then I have the other 25% tariff, so better luck next time.
You can have the wrapper.
Yeah, we'll give you a souvenir.
But today, we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to have Brandon go into an AI chat here, and he's going to type in some prompt he can come up. He's very smart. He can come up with it. That will give us a good thought-provoking question that we can debate with Dom. Or we can all agree on, then we just come up with another one. But Brandon, go ahead and type that in. We'll see where it goes. But a little background on Dom. He's a doctor, or soon to be.
Yeah, soon.
He's one of the smartest guys I know.
In med school, so, we're grinding.
Now, before we get into this, tell us a little bit about med school, because I don't go to med school, so...
I guess the analogy they gave when it first starts, like drinking water out of a fire hose.
Yep.
It honestly feels like that. Going to lectures like 8 to 12 every single day and just like, here's this disease. Yeah, okay, cool. Know that. Okay, next disease, next thing. Here's some drugs.
Cool. Yeah, remember that.
Okay, in this hour, we're going to cover like 30 different medications, what they do, what you use for, and all that. It's a lot. It's intense, but...
Try and keep up.
Yeah, it's rough, but you get through it.
Have you decided on where you want to take it yet?
Nah, I got a few options. Neuro, like love neurology, favorite thing to learn about, also super depressing. Love learning about it, but I don't want to go in every single day and be like, this person who has like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's just progressively get worse.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, love learning about it. Don't know if I could do that. Internal medicine, if you don't, you can go a billion different routes with that. You can just stick with that. It's your primary care, be in a hospital, or if you want like a heart doctor, or lung doctor, all of those, you go internal medicine first and then do like a fellowship afterwards. Mm-hmm. So a whole bunch of stuff.
The psychology part of medicine really fascinates me too. I want to become a therapist because I think I like talking to people and that sort of thing, but the process to become a therapist is very lengthy. Yeah. And I don't know. It's something I've kept on the back burner a little bit. I also, when I was really considering becoming a nurse, I was leaning very heavily towards psych nurse because psychology, I don't know, something about it, man, just fascinating.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like school. Do you guys take AP Psych in high school or not?
I took
Drew
it.
did. I should have.
I was debating it. How was it?
Oh, you should have. It was really interesting. Some of the units were more thought provoking than others. Like some units I was falling asleep, but other units I was like, that's really interesting. Like I remember learning about the gateway processing theory, which basically your brain determines when to feel pain and when it doesn't feel pain. Like, sometimes when you like stub your toe on something and you just don't feel anything, your brain's like, yeah, we're good, don't worry about it. But sometimes your brain's like, nah, we really got to worry about that. So that was really cool. But I got a 5 on the exam, which is pretty cool. I didn't even study for it. So.
Were there a lot of essays for that class?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember my sophomore year, I was in Spanish 2. I speak Polish. I got my regions from Polish, so I didn't have to take Spanish 2 anymore. I was like, screw it, drop this.
Nice.
And they offered me to take a few classes. I was between AP Psych and then some like engineering course for juniors. Ended up taking that, so I was the only underclassman in there.
Yeah.
And so Spirit Day, like they would all leave. I'd be there solo with the teacher, like, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, no, but it was that or AP Psych. And I was like, AP Psych, I heard is a lot of essays. And I'm like,
it is a lot of essays.
I was like, I'm not doing that.
I remember we actually had to take, it was because of COVID. I took my AP Psych exam on my front porch. And I remember I missed one day of AP Psych in the whole school year. I forget, it was like crystal intelligence versus something intelligence. And of course, that was the one thing they taught that day that I never bothered to go back. I'm like, what are the odds that pops up? That was the final essay on the AP exam. It was about that topic. Rough. I'm like, I have no idea what any of this means. So I had to like Google all of it. I had a couple tabs open on that AP exam, but yeah, it was a really interesting class. I really liked it. I think I was like one of the only guys in that class too, which is kind of funny.
I took a few psych classes, like I think like 3 psych classes in undergrad. Those are always super cool.
Was it easy in college to take them?
Yeah, they weren't bad. They're definitely some of the like the easier classes. I took this during my later 2 years of when I was like of undergrad. I was taking like some like 300, 400 level classes, and these are typically like 1-2 inches, a little bit on the easier side.
Mm-hmm.
Psych 101 intro psych, I took that over winter break, so it's a 3-week period. Jeez. So I took an entire class over 3 weeks. That was rough.
Oh, that's a lot.
We survived. We got through it.
That's a fire
You're
hose
still
right
sitting
there.
here.
It was a really cool class, though. Psych is super interesting.
It is really interesting. Yeah. There's so much to it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Dominic Kucharski.
Brandon, what'd you cook up for us?
Yeah, what do we got here? Is college worth the cost? Wow.
I think that's a very dependent question.
All right, well, let's get into it. So we got economic benefits, costs and risk factors, key variables, completion, institution type, major, demographics, societal and political perceptions, and conclusion. So there's all sorts of things that go into it. Dom, you're somebody who's in college. You went to college, undergrad, grad school, all that. We didn't.
I'm going.
We do have both sides of this coin
yet.
But I'm interested to see where your head's at with that. So why don't we start with you? Is college worth the cost that
in your opinion?
What you are going to school for right now, is it worth what you're paying?
What I'm going for is medicine. So for my end, I'd say it's worth it. But like, it very much depends what you're going for.
I would agree.
I agree.
If you're going like medicine or engineer, building the roads, I'm sure my roads and bridges aren't going to fall apart when I drive through it. Mm-hmm. But if you're just doing like a trades or like or social work, like education can help, but you don't necessarily need that.
Yeah, or not at least college education.
You get like a little trades thing or maybe like a 1-year thing.
Yeah,
college is also like my undergrad was pretty cheap because I commuted 3 out of the 4 years, so saved tens of thousands not living on campus.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It was during COVID, so prices were kind of weird then, but still, like scholarships and all that because high school did well in that. So my undergrad was relatively cheap. I know a lot of people, especially in like a lot of private schools. I went to a public school. Yeah. Like they're paying like tens of thousands each year, and they don't have a scholarship. Like if you're $100K in debt coming out of undergrad, that's rough.
That's bad.
Because realistically, really bad. What job are you landing out of a 4-year institution that you're going to be able to pay that in a reasonable amount of time? I mean, you could get good jobs. Like you can become an engineer. I think is probably the best one that comes to mind. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like if you're coming out of school becoming a teacher and you have $150,000 in debt, you're cooked because the interest rates are just going to keep that debt around forever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would almost say, unless you're going for law or medicine or like a really prestigious degree like that, I think that the cost of college is way overinflated. I do. Between all the food costs and dorms and just all the classes that you really don't need to retake and they charge you for, I just think that college could be way more cost efficient for the same output.
There's a bunch of random fees that they could tack on. Like
right.
It's like I commuted. I have my own car. I didn't use a bus, but there's like a transportation fee, a couple $100, an academic excellence fee. No idea what that means.
What does that even mean?
Here,
no one knows.
You're doing well, Dom. Give us $50.
There's a billion different random fees.
I've always looked at college as unless you're going for a good degree that you can get a good job for, and the jobs are out there reflecting that degree, it's useless.
Yeah, like I know for like engineering, I have some friends that are doing that right now. They're making like 60 something in that ballpark a year.
Yeah.
So like they're gonna pay off their stuff. I have other friends who have their degree and they're making like 20K a year with their 4-year degree. It's like,
what was the point? You could have picked up a job at Wegmans and made that same amount.
Yeah.
But I've got a friend too who became an engineer out of college. College was worth it for him. Perfect. You're going to become a doctor at some point, so college was worth it for you. Brandon's got a job as an audio engineer. College was worth it for him. Those types of things make sense. My buddy went to school for interior design. He landed a job. So if you can land a job that pays your bills, power to you. But what I disagree with mainly with the college point would be that rite of passage mindset where people think you have to go to school. Otherwise, what else are you going to do?
Yeah. So I think especially for me, it took a little while for me to be out of high school, experience some things, and then decide, okay, maybe I should go back to school. But I feel like I was 17 when I graduated, so I had no idea what I want to do. And you do so much changing between, high school and by the time you're 20 and then 25. So I don't know. I feel like there shouldn't be as much pressure to go to school. I think it should be, obviously it's easy for me to say, but I know there's a lot of families out there that force their kids to go, which I guess is fine, but not really.
Now,
don't do that, actually. I'm going to change my mind on that.
From someone who still is trying to figure out what they want to do, Dom, I do really admire the fact that you are in med school. Like, you went straight from high school to college, and now you're in med school, and you're sticking with it. Yeah. It's very admirable.
Not one degree change.
Have you ever considered, crazy. Is this even for me? Like, have you ever doubted the fact that medicine's for you?
No, I was, going into high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. My sister was she was, in the healthcare academy there. I did the engineering going my freshman year just because you could do that without actually entering the academy. I was like, I'll join the, healthcare one. I'll, take an engineering class as well. I enjoyed it overall, so kind of just stuck with it. And then you kind of got into undergrad college. First years are prereqs, don't really get a choice in those. But later on, I'm taking the brain, NRS 301 or gross anatomy. It's this is cool.
Yeah.
This is
so it kind of clicked.
Yeah, I'm understanding. Yeah, no. So when you actually get to the interesting stuff, which is the later years of college, or if you might get some exposure in high school, you just got. It was this is it. This is what I want to do. But there are some times where it's this is a lot. I'm not gonna be done with my degree and practicing till I'm 30.
Yeah.
Which is those times suck. But then it's something I enjoy doing. I feel like I'd be disappointed in myself because I know I'm in med school. I know I can achieve these great things. If I'm I'm just going to go for, something, that might be a bit easier to achieve. Yeah, not saying it doesn't take a lot of work and all that, but I know I'm capable of, putting in, 4 years undergrad, 4 years med school, at least 3 years residency. So was that 11 years? Yeah. I know I'm dedicated. I'm capable of doing it. I'll stick my mind through it.
Yeah, you got this far already.
Yeah, no.
You've already been in grad school for what, 2 years at this point?
No, I took a gap year, so this is my gap year. A semester and a half.
So you've almost been in for 2 semesters.
Yeah, so we're getting through it.
Yeah, so you probably got what? How many years left? 5 years maybe?
Kind of 3.5-ish years in med school and then residency, which that depends what you're going for. Family med, pediatrician, that's 3 years, internal medicine 3 years, neurosurgery 7 or so years.
Oh,
I hope you're in med school for 7+ years if you're gonna be picking at my brain.
Yeah,
you don't get paid for residency, do you?
You do. It's not a lot, but you do.
Okay, well at least you get.
Do they charge you for residency?
No, residency you get paid, but it's not a lot.
But you're not getting charged for it.
No.
I don't think so. No.
Where do they pay you?
Depends on each school.
Average.
I don't know the average across the country, but I know UBs, they actually got a new contract for the residents because their old one was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Your first year, you'd join, you get $60K a year first year of res. So that's after 8 years of college, you get $60K. And then obviously, depending if your program might be 3 years, then you take 3 years of pay. On your 7th year for neurosurgery, you'd be getting maybe $65,000 per year. Which is so you're
that's
nothing.
Not really, the time money balance.
Yeah, and then
really.
if you compare to a whole bunch of other residency programs for stuff like New York, Pittsburgh, whatever, their bases might be around start the same, 60, 70 range, but they're up 100K by the time you're in your 7th year. So UB was paying nothing.
UB's cheap.
Yeah, they have a new one. They have a new program where they're getting paid. The residents are getting more. So they're getting paid more, more benefits. So
is residency competitive to get into, or do you just kind of sign up and go?
yeah, it's competitive again. It's a whole interview process again, applications, interviews, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Some residencies are a bit more easier to get into, some a bit harder based on, especially like how, like neurosurgery, obviously you got to need like a bunch of like a bunch of research, a bunch of great stuff. If it's something that's a bit, I guess, easier, like internal medicine, primary care, peds, whatever. Not necessarily it's easier, but there's a lot more opportunities.
Yeah.
It's like neurosurgery is probably, I don't know how many, but let's say like 1,000. For internal medicine, there might be like 20,000.
Yeah.
Just the supply is also
right.
there.
Supply demand.
Kind of almost reminds me of like clinical rotations that maybe you'd go through as a nurse or something. But you're not rotating; you're just there doing your thing.
Yeah, no, you'd be starting to practice too. Also, another thing about college, I feel like people think if you go to college, you're smart.
I agree.
Disagree with that.
I agree.
Just because you go
I
to
would
college,
say you're probably right on
just
that
because you go to college and have a degree does not mean you're smart
I
all.
Now,
totally agree with that.
You just referenced Kanye West. Did you know that?
I did.
Some people graduate but be still stupid.
Oh, I did not know that.
Dash Kanye West.
No, but I was like in medical sociology or some class like that. I was asking the question, teacher a question after class, like, oh, can you just explain this real quick? I do that occasionally. Every single time I go, there's this one guy who asks a question every single time, and it was like the dumbest question ever. And his quizzes and stuff, they were online, just like, hey, do it in your own time, just don't work together. This is one rule. Like, you can use resources, just don't do it, whatever. So like, okay, ask my question. I'm packing my stuff away. This dude he comes up to me, the teacher right there's like, hey, you want to do the quiz together? And I'm like,
oh my goodness.
It's like, leave me alone.
Go away.
Go away. Leave me alone, please.
Just because you have a college degree, you're in college does not mean you're smart.
Yeah. I totally agree.
I think college should just be something you go to if it makes sense for what you want to do in your career, not something you go to as a rite of passage or to party.
No. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
All right,
question.
cool.
Good question.
Thank you, Perplexity, for saying that to us.
Yeah, we're actually Perplexity sponsors our show too.
Except they don't.
Except they actually don't do it.
We just lied.
We just made that up totally. But
all right,
they can come holla.
It's time to move on.
Commentary.
Now that we've done that, Drew actually came up with this week's commentary like he does every other week. He just has no idea what he came up with, so it's gonna be a surprise for everybody.
I wrote. Oh, I'm gonna remember it when I see it, but
amnesia.
Yeah, I must have dementia because I forgot I'm him. But yeah, I wrote this down a couple weeks ago, I think. So, Dean gonna love this. It was Mark Manson.
Oh yeah, I'm
Definitely
a big Mark Manson fan. Huge Mark Manson fan.
So I don't really remember what it was. Yep, I remember this.
All right, let's roll it.
There's a couple naughty words in here, so
I think I actually saw this one.
We'll blur them out.
Here's 7 reasons why you should stop giving a fuck. Number 1, you're gonna be dead soon and none of this is gonna matter anyway. If you're lucky, you'll do one thing in your life that matters 100 years from now. Is this that one thing? I didn't think so. Number 2, if you wouldn't take advice from them, then why the fuck would you listen to their criticism? Number 3, nobody thinks about you as much as you think about yourself. That's because they're too busy thinking about themselves. In short, they don't give a fuck, so why should you? Number 4, everything you've learned in life came from making mistakes. Everything you've become good at, you were once bad at. So why would you be worried about making more mistakes? Number 5, can you control it? No? Then fuck it. Number 6, the most important things in life are achieved not by caring more, but by caring less. Wishing you were more confident makes you less confident. Hoping to be happy makes you less happy. And number 7, 99% of your regrets will be the things that you don't do. It's the risks you didn't take, the things you didn't say, the dreams you didn't chase. I don't know about you, but I'd rather feel bad about trying something than not trying anything at all.
It's real.
I think I actually saw that one at one point. But yeah, huge Mark Manson fan. I listen to his podcast every week. That last point reminded me of this thing that I wrote down. I've got actually on my desk at my house, I've got Post-it notes lining my desk. Whenever I hear something that I really like, whether it's a friend that said it or a podcast or a video or whatever, I'll write it down. But the one thing I heard was it's better to say, oh well, than what if. So kind of pointing to that last point that he made there.
Yeah, I agree.
But 7 bangers. I mean, it's common knowledge. Like, it's not revelations here that he's sharing, but it's always nice to get a nice reminder.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. I like the, you can't control it. Who cares? I actually think about that all the time. It's like, I can't do it. Who cares?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are scared to make mistakes.
Very
A lot of
Or when they
people.
do make mistakes, they just beat themselves up endlessly.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you make the mistake, and then a couple days later, you don't even remember what it is. It's weird. Like, it's how you. He's right though. It is how you grow. Eventually, you do have to make mistakes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, whenever I make a mistake, in class or like in a dissection, it's like, crap. But then, you kind of sit and it's like, okay, well, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
You kind of just force yourself to learn from it.
So I just won't do that again.
As long as you grow from a mistake, you're chilling. But if you use a mistake to anchor you down, you're not chilling anymore.
Stupid little example. I was at my internship the other day, and when we're answering phones, you address the congressman as Congressman Nick Langworthy. Congressman Langworthy. You never just say Nick Langworthy or Nick. Like, you always say Congressman. I was on the phone. I know this. I mean, I learned this on the first day, but I was just talking to this person. I wasn't even thinking about it. And I called him Nick. I was like, yeah, Nick doesn't support that. And then the guy, Sean, behind me, he's like, don't call him that. And I was like, yep, okay. He wasn't that nasty about it, but it was a stern reminder. He's like, don't do that. Okay. And I sat on it for a second. I was like, I can't believe I did that. But I haven't done it since. So you can learn from your mistakes, I suppose.
They're not fun. They're not
No.
comfortable, but like
They do suck.
they happen. I feel like a lot of people are just like ashamed of it and they like shut down.
Yeah, because I think they just get in their own heads about it. Like they think everybody's watching them, and it's just. I think about that all the time too. I mean, everybody walks around thinking that everyone's watching them all the time, but I don't care about anybody else around me. Usually, it's just me kind of doing my own thing. So I'm like, if I'm not paying attention to anybody else, why would anybody be paying attention to me? I'm just another Joe Schmo in their life.
It's known as the
I don't
spotlight effect in psychology.
Yeah.
When you think everybody's paying attention to you, nobody is.
No one cares.
Nobody is. But it's so easy to fall into that trap. You just think everybody's watching you at all times.
What's that one condition where you think like everyone around you is like a spy and trying to?
I don't know.
I'm blanking on the name of that. I know there's some condition where you're like, oh, everybody here is trying to get me. It's like paranoia, but it's a specific name for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet there's a medical term for it.
So I thought about imposter syndrome, but that's not it.
Brandon's gonna save the day here in a second.
Thank you for saving the day, Brandon.
But yeah, Mark
Just
Manson, he's always
paranoia.
got good advice. What we got?
So does that look about right?
I think it was something specific, but it's basically the idea of paranoia.
Yeah, everyone's out to get you constantly,
Yeah, no.
even though
Person gets
literally
very
nobody
cool.
cares about you.
Yeah, you're-
Yeah, it's kind of liberating. Like, I believe the term's nihilism. You know what I'm talking about?
I hear that a whole bunch of those terms. I hear them, I look them, I'm like, cool, and then I forget.
Yeah.
and then I remember like
I do the same thing.
It's like I looked that up before, right?
Nihilism, I
means.
believe, is when you understand. It's the belief that nothing matters in this world, and you can either take that as depressing or liberating. Let's see. Nihilism is a philosophy that suggests all values are baseless, existence is meaningless, and nothing can be known or communicated, often associated with extreme pessimism and radical skepticism. So you can take it like that, or you can say, nothing really matters. We're kind of just a bunch of meat sacks floating around on a rock in the middle of nowhere. I'll go ask her out.
I think,
You know,
I think
it could be-
a dose of nihilism
Yeah,
helps.
a
But you
little drop
don't
of it.
want to get the whole vial of it.
It's like salt, man. You need a little salt on your fries. You don't need to overload it.
Yep. Just
But
a little.
the
yep.
little bit of salt can transform those fries.
Just don't matter.
Be the fry. If Dom, if you were a fry, what fry would you
Okay.
be?
I don't know, waffle fry. I'll go with that.
That's
Really?
a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the first one popped in my head.
What's your least favorite fry? I got mine.
Like sweet potato.
Besides sweet potato.
Okay,
Those aren't fries.
Yeah, those are sad excuse me fries. Like an actual like good fry.
Do you like what are those like potato wedge fries? Are you counting those, or is that like too far?
We could count that.
Okay, I'll like one is like there's like potato wedge ones.
Yeah.
I think I might have the same least favorite fry. You want to count?
This might be a dark horse.
Dom, countdown from 3. We're gonna say it at the same time. If it matches up, Brandon might get another musketeer.
I thought I just said my least favorite.
no,
fry.
our least
Brandon's
favorite.
tail's
Oh.
wagging over there. He's
Yeah,
excited.
you can see him wagging.
Okay.
All right, ready?
3, 2, 1.
Steak
Steak.
fries. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I would do steak fry was my second least favorite.
Really?
I was like the wedges and then steak fries.
There's too much potato.
Can
There
you
is
guess?
too much potato.
Can you
There's too
guess
much
my favorite
potato.
fry, Dom?
I think I know your favorite.
You know my favorite.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm very outspoken about my favorites,
Yeah,
bud.
I don't know if it's like super thin fries or because it's like the complete opposite. I'll just go potato fries. I know because the what is like the hashtag wedge fries.
Like the waffle fries?
Waffle fries. There we go. I was blanking on the name.
My favorite is shoestring fries.
That's what I thought.
I
yeah.
love
Okay, so it was the
shoestring
complete
fries.
opposite. Just the super
Yes.
thin fries.
Dude, Chick-fil-A fries are so good.
Yeah, waffle. I can't believe I blanked on waffle fries.
You
when I
just
said
said your
it.
favorite
You
was
just said
waffle
your-
fries.
Okay, maybe they're not my favorite.
The
I
waffle
don't know.
fry community is hurt right now.
Maybe they're not.
Shoestring's really good.
Brandon, when you were allowed to eat, what was your favorite
McDonald's.
fry?
McDonald's fries are great. I know Brandon's thinking about a McDonald's fry right now.
Yeah, McDonald's.
We're
fries.
going after this.
McDonald's fries are good.
Is McDonald's its own species of fries?
It could be.
Yeah,
It might be.
Can we
they're
can
like
we-
the super thin ones, but they're
Yeah.
they're just like so different from every other fry.
Yeah, dude.
they're
You
good.
can't
They're
beat
so
those. You cannot beat those
They're
fries.
pretty ridiculous. Yeah. McDonald's fries or something else, man. So we're gonna just say that Brandon's favorite fries are McDonald's fries.
I think that's a safe bet, right, Brandon? Yeah,
he's giving us the nod.
He's giving us a thumbs up.
All right. What do you say we
You know, usually you would
You would
You put
usually
these fries
eat
on a-
these fries
on a table.
on a table.
off the table.
Okay. Table.
All right, so I actually came up with an off the table while we were talking today. So
What did I write down? Maybe we'll do 2 off the tables today.
I am passionate about this one. I know Drew is too.
I forgot the S and BS, all that bowl.
So we've kind of loosely covered this on our show
we'll
before.
do mine first and then we'll get to yours.
All right, yeah, I'm fired up about this.
So
one.
I'm taking courses off the table. Dating courses, business courses, mindset courses, manhood courses. Anytime a guy, you're just trying to watch your YouTube video and some guy pops up in a way too tight t-shirt and says that you're never going to get a girlfriend, but he has the secret ingredient.
I was in jail for 5 years and now I drive this McLaren thanks to drop shipping. And it's
Yeah.
just his course.
And he tries to get you to get like a free book in this course.
And the course usually costs $500, but today he wants to give it to you for $5 because he believes it's that valuable.
Yeah.
What's the one guy who's like, I'm in my garage with
Oh,
my bookshelf.
Ty Lopez.
Ty Lopez.
Here's my garage.
with my Lambos and my bookshelves. What's more valuable in his Lambos? Those books.
Okay, shut up, dude.
Yeah, so those are off the table.
Those guys. I
Those
really don't know
suck.
if I have much else to say about it. I don't know.
I don't know who they're really aimed at. Like, 'cause I remember when I was
Lonely,
like 12 years
sad,
old,
lonely
I was like, this is pretty cool. Look at this.
When I was 12 years old, you could have sold me a course on.
Oh, for
any of the
sure.
yeah,
five.
when I was like, this is cool. Like, how much is like $300? Like, bro, I have like $20.
You don't even have a job yet.
Lucky for you, it's 80% off right now. Instead
Yeah,
of
but like,
$20.
I don't know who is it. I don't know who it's aimed at. Like, is it lonely people?
Yeah, it's usually just
Lonely, desperate men.
It's usually just desperate people in general. People who are in a situation
Yeah.
that they want to get out of and they want to feel that validation of taking steps to get out of it. These courses target them.
Yeah, and
It's-
for that reason,
they're
they're
off the
canceled today.
Now, my off the table, which I think is better than that one personally. That's just how I feel.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. My off the table are the people in Zoom meetings who keep or real meetings who keep asking questions. When the meeting was supposed to end 20 minutes ago and they keep asking questions.
Yeah,
It is so annoying.
it's so annoying.
Yeah, we've not meetings, but like in lecture.
Or lectures,
Yeah,
yeah.
when's like, okay, we're already running over, and like you've already asked like 5 questions this lecture.
Yeah.
Please just like ask your question at the end.
And they're always
Seriously.
sub questions. It'll be like, what's the brain? Where is the brain? Why do we need the brain? Where's the brain? It's
My
like,
grandma didn't have a brain.
They're either really like straightforward dumb questions, or they're like super complex questions. They're in
Yes.
the minutiae. It's like, I don't know if you're actually wondering this or if you're trying to seem smart.
right.
Seriously, like, are you trying to make up for
I
something
mean,
over there?
it could be both.
It could be.
And what made me think of it is when we have to do continuing education. So for context, because we're real estate agents, every 2 years we have to do what's called continuing education, where the state just requires us to take courses on like ethics and the law or whatever.
Bunch
just
of
to,
nonsense courses.
just to renew our knowledge on the license or whatever. But in these meetings, you have a bunch of people who are either new or old who just keep asking
Yeah.
questions over and over and over about these. And these courses are like 3 hours long. Like they're not short. And you're sitting there in your room. Like at least in a lecture hall, there's people around you. Like you're sitting all alone in your room just listening to some lady babble on about fair housing.
Yeah.
And these people finally at the end of the meeting, they're like, so if I'm this and I go into here, is this going to happen? It's like, dude, no one cares. Just let me go eat lunch.
I remember I had a Zoom meeting for continuing ed when I was doing it 2 years ago. The same lady We went 45 minutes over. She just kept and eventually like she kept going and the moderator's like, "Okay, you guys can just get out of here, please." Like just enough.
Enough.
I was so hungry and aggravated. I'm like, "Just please let me." It was like a 4-hour one too, I think. So it was like almost 5 hours I was sitting there like, "Please, I don't want to hear about discrimination anymore, please." I get it.
Suck.
It's the worst.
Yeah. So ours, the longest days we have is like our 4-hour days, and we have stuff in the afternoon, but people don't ask questions during those. But it's like, if you're Monday through Friday, don't ask questions every single day, please.
Yeah,
Seriously,
please.
or just stay after class.
Don't drag out every single lecture.
Or just go online and ask an AI bot
Yeah,
somewhere.
our friends at Perplexity can help you out.
You can text Brandon and he'll look it up for you.
Yeah.
He's happy to
Brandon
do it.
can hold your hand and help you.
He doesn't have calories, but he's got the internet, so he will surf it for you free of charge.
Yeah, he's got 3 Musketeers.
Yes.
I mean, you guys did steak fries. You guys owe him another one.
That's true.
You're tariffing it, so he gets like half of a Musketeer.
Yeah, it'll
on it.
shake out to something like that.
I'm gonna take all the skin off the fry and just give Brandon the potato.
We should
instead.
give Brandon a skinless musketeer.
Oh, that sounds horrid.
Take the chocolate off and just give him.
It's like the zip tied cupcake.
It's like a naked mole rat, dude.
Yeah, or cutting the crust
Enjoy.
off his 3 Musketeer.
Speaking of Brandon, I feel like this is a good segue into our 4th honorary segment of the show, us begging you for a review. So now the bar has been set a little higher. Brandon has been slightly fed, and
As long as my review went through.
as
That's
long as it
true.
went through. So now we're looking for 5. Now, if somebody leaves us a review, 5-star review, and says, "This Dom guy, I just can't get enough of him," word for word,
Aw.
"This Dom guy, I just can't get enough of him," we will send you whatever candy you want. We will
That's
mail
true.
it to you.
We'll send you Dom.
And we'll,
Dom.
we'll give Dom a firm handshake.
Yeah.
Only if you leave that review. So Dom will be checking.
And if your review really is glowing, Dom will deliver your candy bar to you and
Yes.
shake your hand. And you might even get a photo op with him. Maybe.
Maybe a little smooch on the lips.
Ooh. That's 6 reviews.
And that
Let's
should
not get
be
too crazy.
all you need to hear.
And I actually want to do a just real quick 5th honorary segment. I just want to shout out Teddy for being the GOAT.
Teddy's the best human on planet Earth.
I
There's no
love
topping
Teddy.
him.
He's so handsome.
Yep.
All right, well, that's it.
Shout out
All right.
Teddy.
Thank you for coming on, Dom. Short
Yeah,
notice.
thanks for having
Yes,
me.
thank you, Dom.
This is fun.
It was good.
Bye-bye.
Oh, okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'm going to go eat ice cream now.
Okay.
You've earned it, Dom.